Welcome to New Unrealist. As an observer of politics, it amazes me how Kafkaesque it all is. Let's take the issue of accusing a political figure of anti-Semitism. You would think with so serious a charge that it'd be black and white. Very easy. Well, apparently not. Witness in the case of, say, let's take Donald Trump, for example. Let's look at the total absurdity involved. Many on the left accuse Trump of anti-Semitism in spite of the fact that his daughter, and as all I'm sure know, his clear favorite child, Ivanka, she converted to Judaism in order to marry a Jewish man, Jared Kushner. Now, this Jewish son-in-law, rather than be disowned or put out by or kept at a distance by Trump, for better or worse, works for him in the White House in the innermost ring of his most trusted advisors. One of the, probably you can count on one hand, number of people on the planet able to just walk over and pop into the Oval Office with Trump for direct FaceTime without making an appointment. A vanishingly small list that likely only includes his children, his wife, General Kelly, and very few others. But no, that's not enough for Trump's political rivals, so neither is apparently the genuine friendship that Trump seems to enjoy with the longest-serving prime minister in the history of the Jewish state and homeland of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu. A relationship that preceded Trump's entry into presidential politics going back years. The president who currently enjoys the greatest relationship with Israel than any other president since its founding in the 1940s, including President Truman, who was the first head of state to recognize Israel as a country. Trump goes down in history as the president who officially recognized Jerusalem as the capital of Israel and moved the U.S. Embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. Something that so far every president before him resisted doing. The state of Israel has even named a plaza in Jerusalem near the U.S. Embassy after Trump, the only president ever to have a street location named for him in the Jewish capital. Some in the religious Jewish community of Israel say they believe Donald Trump is the president who was promised, apparently, who will be responsible for restoring control over their holy sites, such as the Temple Mount, to Jewish control. Now, that last is only the wild speculation and hopes of some religious zealots, but I only include it to point out just how absurd it is to say that Donald Trump hates Jews when he may be the most beloved U.S. president in Israel's history, let alone any prominent example existing of Trump expressing negative statements about Jews or the state of Israel. Then there is Jeremy Corbyn, another politician. He's the current leader of the United Kingdom's Labour Party. Now, my fellow Americans, many of you may not be familiar with British politics, but I'll risk oversimplifying things to say that the Labour Party is the equivalent of the Democrats here in the U.S. They're on the left. Jeremy Corbyn and his supporters have denied charges of anti-Semitism for years, despite Corbyn's seeming penchant for keeping the company of Palestinian terror group members. Recently, a specific incident has come up that seems to finally have broken through the circled wagons of Labour Party denial. Corbyn denied for weeks that he was involved with a ceremony back in 2014 honoring and paying tribute to the Palestinian terrorists who murdered Jewish athletes at the 1972 Olympics in Munich. The problem now is that a photo exists of Corbyn holding a wreath while standing there before the graves of the Palestinian terrorists. Corbyn was forced to admit that, yes, he was at the ceremony holding the wreath. Now, Corbyn said that he was present. He had to change his story to say that he was present, but somehow not involved in the wreath-laying for the Munich terrorists. So, he's holding the wreath on one side, while a current member of a Palestinian terrorist group holds the other side of the wreath. They're standing before the plaque commemorating the graves of the dead terrorists, and somehow he's not involved with the wreath laying? I mean, the problem is that, if you don't believe your lying eyes, that when this issue came up last year, he answered that he did participate in the wreath laying.
I was in Tunisia at a Palestinian conference, and I spoke at that Palestinian conference, and I laid a wreath to all those that had died in the air attack that took place on Tunis, on the headquarters of the Palestinians' organisations there, and I was accompanied by very many other people who were at a conference searching for peace.
You weren't honouring that person?
No, I was absolutely not. Who was searching for peace in the Middle East. The only way we achieve peace, is by bringing people together and talking to them. That was the whole point of that conference. That's been, frankly, the whole point of my life.
Jeremy Corbyn laid a wreath at the resting place of the PLO Black September terrorists who murdered Israel's athletes at the 1972 Munich Olympic Games. Yet somehow, Jeremy Corbyn, unlike Donald Trump, was afforded every excuse, every alibi, and benefit of the doubt on this. Until now, this egregious affront has made it impossible for some even on the left to ignore. He's starting to get criticism from other Labour Party members. Now, so long as the Labour Party is led by Jeremy Corbyn, they're being led by a man who honors those who murdered Jews in cold blood because they were Jews. That's not a dog whistle. Jeremy Corbyn, by laying that wreath, was practically turning on the bat signal and showing what he was all about. That's all for this New Unrealist. Like the video, comment, subscribe to the channel both on YouTube and BitChute if that's where you're watching. Hit that notification bell if you're on YouTube. Keep up with new content. If you want to go the extra mile, support the channel directly, follow the link below to Patreon, and have a go. Thanks for watching.